Hello everyone, welcome back to another video and another locomotive review. Today we'll be looking at the Caledonia Works London Brighton South Coast Railway D1s. As you can see, I've filled up the yard again on the Southbridge to Highwood route. Believe it or not, this is only half of the variants you get in the pack. The other half I've got down by the station. We'll have a look around at the liveries, then we'll go for a drive, but before that we'll, like I said, have a look around and I'll tell you a bit about the history, because I have done some research on these locos and it's quite interesting, and that's something a bit of a treat for you as well that I'm quite excited about, because I've never seen a locomotive representing the area that I live in. Anyway, without further ado, let's get on with it. So in the pack, being a southern loco, you obviously get your southern liveries, including your improved green. You get two weather variants, which are these two. I don't quite know why any of the other liveries don't have a weathered variant. I don't know why, but not grumbling too much because they look absolutely lovely even in their clean. But these two, despite being in the same livery, are different, because this one is the Southern Unlined Black in its southern, with its southern number. This one is the same Unlined Black but with the British Railways number. So as you can see, 2625 Southern, British Railways number. Always added the 3 before the 2. And as always with Caledonia Works, they build their locos to a very high standard of detail, as well as using, I believe, the Sim Nations scripting, which has really risen the bar for making locomotives from them. I mean, don't they just look gorgeous? You might be thinking, well, aren't these just a Terrier? Well, yes, they're made by the same person. They're made by Stroudley, and I believe later on made by Marsh, which I think these ones are. These ones are Marsh, I believe. Yeah. But we'll get onto that later, because you get two variants. You get the Stroudley variant, and you get the Marsh variant, and you get all these. So we'll have a look around. I believe these locomotives were nicknamed the Bulldogs because they were sort of a beefier version of the Terriers. But the only difference is, well, I say the only difference, the differences are that these are larger than the Terriers, and these are an 042 instead of an 060 tank, which means they could pull more, longer, and run a bit faster as well, I suppose. But they look brilliant. Some of them were dual braked, so you had vacuum and air. I believe this is represented in the pack, but I think they all use vacuum. I assume that some of the liveries in this pack I do love, like the Malachite. Not too sure about this livery, but I'm sure it'd be nice for like a scenario where you've sort of role play, where you've rebuilt one of these from scratch and you've done a bluebell and sort of haven't put the lining on it yet, but just kicked it out the workshop to be ran. Anyway, you can't have a southern loco without the southern liveries. So you got the typical 4-digit southern, then you got the Brighton prefix with the B on the other one with the 3-digit. Then you got the Malachite. I love the Malachite livery, absolutely love it. I know, I'm excited as well, calm down. Yeah, absolutely love it on these, look gorgeous. You're probably thinking, what is a Victorian engine like this with these liveries? Well, some of them did actually run up until the 50s and early 60s. I think the latest I saw was withdrawn in 1957. I've got the page up, so I'll show you that later. Anyway, that is the last livery of this line, because this is all one part of it. Then you got 3 separate liveries, and that is the improved engine green. The reason why they're 3 separate types of loco is because you have the single digit, double digit, and the triple digit. And as you can see, they all have their respective names, such as this one's called Cookmere, That one I'm not going to try and pronounce. Well, I suppose I'll give it a go. Cars Halton. I may have said that wrong. And then Broccoli. No idea where those two are, but I know where that is. I mean, I do love the improved green livery. Absolutely love it. Even on the Terriers, I love it. I mean, just look at that. Another thing as well about the engines is that they are fully customizable. Their name changes on the improved engine. The name changes to its respective number, so you could have it from 1 to 10 there, and then 10 to, I don't know, 400 there. You can change the chimneys from, I believe, this variant to that variant, which is on there. Oh, hello, a bit close. I believe that's the cast, and obviously the other one is Stroudley. So I think that's the Marsh, that's the Stroudley. So yeah, that's this. But oh yeah, also to customise it, you get to change whether it has condensing gear, so the pipe along here, the brakes. I don't know about the whistle, but you can definitely change the bunker, whether or not you can have bunker bars or just have it as the original like that. So I've always loved how they've painted the names on the improved engines, on the improved green. I've always loved that. It's just a lovely, well, I mean, it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. The lining is absolutely stunning. It really is. I could sit and look at this loco all day, but time is of the essence. Anyway, let's hop down to the station where I have a train waiting, and I'll show you the other half of the pack. So, here is the other half of the pack. Now, the reason I've got these 4 identical ones split up is because they're different variants. So, the line closest is the original Stroudley variant, and the one behind it is the Marsh. Again, in same liveries, you've got your Yuri, you've got your Monsell green, then you've got your Marsh Umbers. Now, the only way I could tell the two variants apart is if you look over here. The Stroudley, you've got the original whistle there, and you've got the safety valves in the dome, whereas the Marsh, you have the safety valves separated from the dome in place of the whistle, and the whistle on top of the cab. Now, that's quite a good attention to detail. And again, with this, you can customise it with different chimneys, condensing gear, I think even the braking and whatnot, but we'll have a look at that in the manual later on. Now, I mentioned that I had a bit of a treat for you. Well, if you've probably noticed me, if you've probably been watching my videos a long time, you know that I live in East Sussex near Lewes. Well, after doing a bit of research, I found out that these tank engines represented villages and towns in East Sussex, pretty much where the London and Brighton Railway went. So that is why I have these beautiful locos with the nearest names of villages that I live near, and towns of course. So I've got Uckfield, Isfield, Ringmer. So essentially I could do the whole London, I could do the whole Lewes to Uckfield line in loco names. I mean, I was like a schoolboy when I found out that these locos were named after local towns and villages. I was like an absolute schoolboy, because hopefully when I finish the Barkham line, I could have one of these either called Uckfield, Isfield, Ringmer. There isn't a Barkham, which is a bit strange, seeing as there was 2 stations in Barkham. But oh well, there's a Balkham, but no Barkham. These two, believe it or not, are sisters. That's number 27, that's number 28. But I'm just absolutely flabbergasted that there's locos representing these villages and towns that are so local to me. Anyway, after that, I've got one train sitting in the station, and it is named after the town that I live near. Go over here, and that is Lewes. Get a better shot of it. Yep, I live near the town of Lewes. It's a lovely town. As soon as I found out that they were named after local towns and cities, I thought, well, what better loco to represent the pack and this video than my local hometown. And what about coaching stock as well? Then the Victoria Works, Terrier, London, Brighton and South Coast carriages in improved engine green. So, I've done enough waffling. Let's drive all the way up to Highwood and see what you think from there, really. Well, I say Highwood, we could drive up to the middle station. Looks lovely, absolutely stunning. Oh, before we do, I do need a thumbnail. Do apologise for this, so I'll get some of that action. Okay, so as with all of the Victoria Works, Caledonia Works, beg your pardon, you got your usual views. You don't need a reversing lock for this, believe it or not, so it's just forward and back. You can also hear the Westinghouse pump, because I think at this time they were air braked during this sort of period. So you got, let's look at the head-out views. Down by the wheels, as they're very famous for, in front of the smoke box. Looking down at the floor, up there, centre, down there, up there, wheels, front there, wheels again. Fireman's side, back here. I do like this view, that's quite nice. It's very nice indeed. Notice how the brake gauge is up here and the pressure gauge is up there. It wasn't until they got to the later versions that they put all the gauges up here for easy viewing. So, let's release the brakes. That's the brake handle down there. It's not vacuum yet, it's still working off air brakes. Something a bit different as well with the firing, that you have to open the firebox door and then you can either tap it 3 times to put a sprinkling of coal in there, or you could hold the R button and just put loads of coal in there. So knock that pump off. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, it's pretty well made, really. The only thing with this is that it doesn't have the standard injectors that you see on, say, the southern versions. With this, it's like I'd say it's a bit like Terriers, but you don't have to press K and L for the water. You just press O and J to put water in. Yeah, because it's got the condensing gear on it. What else to show you? Oh yes, the whistles. Yep. As you can tell, we're in the Stradley version. So you've got your space bar. I love how you can now sort of do a little pip. I love that. That's quite nice. So say for instance, if you're sort of shunting, you don't want to press the space bar and have a very long loop. You just do a little, and away you go. I love that. Absolutely love it. I think it was the same with the Atlantics as well, but I think they've done a bit more refining on this one. What else? The V key, I think. No, Control V. No, Control Space. There we go. I forgot them for a second. But yeah, Control Space. You got your shorts. Yeah. So, I think we've loaded the passengers. Head codes. Yep. Victorian locos. Yeah, you've got like an absolute plethora. You got lamps, different colours. Yeah, got your cross. I've not quite figured out the Victorian sort of head codes on these locos yet, so that's why I always stick to the white discs. Must try and find a book somewhere. So let's do the Bluebell head code, or I could go. See, there's only one Victorian code I know, and it's this one. But they usually see it on Chatham engines. So whether or not it's appropriate for oh, I keep missing it, hang on. Whether or not it's appropriate for a London Brighton loco, I don't know. Could be wrong. Just let me know in the comments. Would be handy to know, to be honest. So yeah, we've got the head code. Just set the route. Let's have a look. Yeah, because that keeps changing like that for some reason. That's good. Oh, hello. there. Oh, no, I didn't want to do that. Right. So yeah, without further ado, let's get this train on the go. Do apologise for the lag. My PC is dying a death currently. It's getting a bit old. I'm in a buffer. Nice. well on pressure there actually. Looks like it's building now. Yeah, the loco blows off at 150, runs about 120 to 140 I think. I have to admit I haven't done well with the old fire management on this one. But it's working well so far. Anyway, we're on the last leg of the journey. Next stop, Highwood. Give it the beans! There we go. Well then, here we are, end of the line at Highwood. So I won't end the video right here. What we'll do is we'll hop over to a Wikipedia page that I have popped up to show you the list of numbers and names that these locos carried. Then what we'll do is we'll hop over to the manual and I'll show you what you get in the manual, what things do, liveries and whatnot. And then I'll pause it over to history, and then if you want to read the history, be my guest, pause the video and then come back here. Then we'll end the video and I'll say goodbye, see you in the next one. So here we are. We're on the Wikipedia page. Not everyone's favourite page for information, but I find it quite handy for looking at locomotive numbers when they were brought into service and when they were just withdrawn. So as you can see here, the numbers go from 1 all the way down to 362. And what we have here is I believe this is the original London Brighton number and name. Then I believe it was also the numbers they carried. So I think that's, single number. I don't know about the 75, but I believe the triple digit numbers and the 4-digit numbers are the Southern and not the BR, because I think the only one to carry a BR number is down the bottom here, which is quite interesting to read actually. It was this one, number 359, was the only one to carry a British Railways number. Built in 1886, withdrawn in 1951. Sorry, I was a bit wrong on that one. It wasn't 57, it was 51, the last one was scrapped. But if you do pop over to this page, I will put the link down in the description. If you do pop over to this page, I would recommend, where has it gone? I'd read the history of this one. Number 357 Riddlesdown. It's quite an interesting history on this one. I won't spoil it, so if you want to fancy a bit of light reading, have a look at this one. Most of them, after being scrapped, were turned into water pumps for World War II, but the majority of them were built at Glasgow. I think Lewis wasn't, which is one I'm driving. That was made in 1884, scrapped in 1944. Its last number was 2232, which is the Southern Rail number. Let's have a look. Seaford, another favourite of mine, again 22282, 1884, withdrawn in 33. Let's have a look at the other two. Uckfield and Isfield, the sisters, 627 and 628. That one, by the looks of it, was withdrawn around the First World War, I believe, by the looks of it, 1912, and built in 1976. I don't think it had a long life by the looks of it. Uckfield did survive into Southern Rail by the looks of it, as it's got 2627 and was withdrawn in 43, so that had quite a long life. And one was rebuilt, this one, the one the one I couldn't pronounce, was rebuilt into D1X. I don't know what they look like, I'll do some digging. So yeah, as you can see, there's quite a long list. Uckfield, Hartfield, Rotherfield, sort of local towns and villages to me, really. I was quite interested by this, but anyway, so that's that. I will put the link in the description. Now the manual. Now with every Caledonia Works loco, you obviously get the manual, and it is very well presented. As with the picture, you get a very interesting history of the locomotive. It's well worth a read. I will pause it here for you to have a quick read if you like. I'll give you a few seconds to do that. And then down here you got specifications, the build date 1873 to 1887, total built 125, running service 77 years. The oldest one was, as I said, where is it now? It's at the bottom. Last survivor was obviously that one. This one was withdrawn in 51. But the last survivor was 56, which was that one, Riddlesdown. So yeah, they had quite a long running life really, which is quite surprising for an old Victorian loco. Obviously, quick drive requirements. You do need to get some stuff for that. And again, as I've talked through earlier, you get the different variations, the improved green, 1, 2, 3, and all that digits, Stroudleys, the bullied and all that. Now, I know I've said in the Wayside Works manuals they give you a list. This is very helpful, it really is. So yeah, it's quite a long list of stuff to do on these locos. Performance mode as well is quite helpful. And then this is always quite nice to see, because every loco is different in the game. So yeah, it's better to keep. That's why I was running out of coal. I always thought you had to keep it between 300 and 455, but now it's between that and that. Okay. All right, yeah. This sort of information is quite helpful for running the loco, as well as that, because I couldn't quite figure out why it was releasing and running. But there you go, it's all there. So yeah, fireman, auto fireman, it's got that as well. And here's the customization part, codes, running number, chimney types. The only thing I will say is that it doesn't tell you what option 1 or option 2 is. It just says that you can have option 1 or 2. It would be helpful to know what these options are. I mean, perhaps I've gone past it in some of the description, I don't know. I mean, it would be quite nice to give different smoke box, door, press enter, until you see your logo, but just default version. Erase all, just accept running number. Yeah, it doesn't really say. So again, that would be helpful to know what the options are instead of just saying 1 and 2. So I'll hop back to the game and then we'll end the video there. What to make of it? Well, if I'm honest, my PC didn't really do it much justice because of the amount of lag I had, but that's my fault, to be honest. But like I said, the PC didn't do it justice. Not saying the loco's bad. The loco is fantastic, top notch, lovely to drive. Textures are superb. I mean, just look at the copper chimney cap and just any sort of copper work really on these locos and brass work. It's just superb. It's just done to a very high standard. It sounds fantastic. SimNation have really done a superb job on the physics of the loco, as well as the smoke effects. It looks like proper steam and smoke now. As well as their head codes, superb work. You can't really fault these. Can't really fault their add-ons really. You can't really fault Caledonia Works. Yeah, it's another loco that I'm gonna love and enjoy to bits really. But I will need to update my PC if I'm gonna keep buying locos and add-ons. I'm gonna have to buy some more storage, buy a better graphics card, I think. So yeah, we're now at the end of the video. If you like the video, please hit the like button. If you want to see more of my content, could be anything from railway trips to heritage railway trips, or more train simulator videos, and probably some other simulated games in the future, then please hit the subscribe button and leave a comment and like the video, and I will see you in the next video. Okay, see ya, bye.